My name is D Square, also known as Debbie D. We have a show that we want you to see. Our guests today include Professor Bun-B to show us how important hip-hop music can be. Also here today we got Anthony Pinn. When it comes to the genre, he'll give us his spin and clear the way for Little Sky Cat. When it comes to rap, she knows where it's at. And you gotta look good when you're doing your thing. We'll go to my son and Jula Johnny Dang. Dang Johnny Dang, dang Johnny Dang, dang Johnny Dang, dang Johnny Dang. Now stay right there, don't you go nowhere, cause we are on your way to start a great day. Houston, let's make it clear right now, I will never be able to run for office. Okay, so not too long ago, it wasn't even officially recognized as a genre of music. Today, billions of dollars later, the culture of rap and hip-hop has its own category at the Grammys and other award shows, and it spawned billions more dollars in the jewelry and fashion industry. From old school rhymes with Grandmaster Flash and Run DMC to new school hip-hop with Jay-Z and Kanye West, and local rappers Slim Thug and Paul Wall, rap music can send a powerful message. For many people, the art form is dope. For those of you who don't know, that means cool. That means sick. That means awesome. But many others think it's only about thieving, drugging, and thugging. Joining us with the full scope of what makes hip-hop a musical force, please welcome Anthony Pinn, professor of religion and hip-hop at Rice University, Grammy-nominated and Houston's own rapper Bun-B, hip-hop radio personality Memphis 10, and female rapper Genesis Blue. Good morning. All right. When you say hip-hop, there are those who know, but for others, they think it just has this negative connotation and is about that thieving, drug, and all that type of stuff. So let's kind of go back to a history lesson, if you will. Really, it is kind of a form of expression that's been around for a while in the form of storytelling, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's reflective of the world. So I think when people see negative messages coming from hip-hop, it's a reflection of the negativity that many people see in their community.
Yeah.
I think also that that's usually the music that people tend to hear about more so
the
than
controversial stuff that gets your attention.
Well,
so yeah, because it is there. We do see that.
And I mean, if you look at the news, that's what you see, more controversial views rather than the more positive tones that hip hop carries.
Yeah. All right. When you see hip hop show up at like Harvard and Rice,
absolutely.
Pretty interesting. So what is it that you teach?
Well, I co-teach this course with Bun-B, and we're concerned with giving students an opportunity to wrestle with two of the most significant cultural developments we know. Religion and hip-hop culture both have given voice to the voiceless and have provided poetic and powerful descriptions of the world in which we live.
Yeah, and Memphis 10, that's what you see, that's what you do on radio.
All day, every day. I think the youth has really embraced hip-hop, and they're taking it to the next level nowadays.
Yeah. And hip-hop, it's not just the words and things that we're talking about, but hip-hop is a style that we see cross over to, let's say Kirk Franklin, for example. He's done hip-hop in religious music. All right, now a lot of people, one of the complaints they have, of course, is it's misogynistic. Mm-hmm. It's the hoes and the bees and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. It does exist, but
there are people like me who don't care about that. I'm concerned with spreading my message. I don't allow that to get in my way. I continue to, I have a message that I want to convey, and nothing's gonna stop that.
Yeah,
so
and message is really what this is about. How important is that, do you think, in our communities?
Oh, it's huge because it is a voice for the voiceless. That's what I do. Like, it's the soundtrack. Music is the soundtrack to life and what's going on around us. Yeah.
And again, it's kind of almost like a social record, if you will, too.
Yeah, but you know, to be fair, I think hip-hop gets held to a higher social standard than most. I think when a group like Warrant makes a song like Cherry Pie, nobody criticizes them for it, but if we make a song about twerking, all of a sudden we're damaging the world and our social community.
Yeah.
So I do think for some reason they try to look at us as lower artists, yet still hold us to a higher standard, and it's kind of weird sometimes.
Yeah, finally got its category. I think I remember that so well. What got the industry's attention is the fact that you had guys selling cassette tapes out of the trunk of their car and making $375 million along the way, right?
Yeah,
so that's what kind of legitimized it, was when they saw the money that was attached to it. and it's permeated through not just the music itself, but we'll see later on today on the show, just about every aspect of society.
Absolutely. You look at any product that's being sold, whether it's a car, a cereal, a pair of tennis shoes, or a t-shirt, there's usually hip-hop music playing behind that commercial. So we've ingratiated ourselves into all forms of society right now. We've been accepted in the households of America, and it's a beautiful thing. Your kids eat cereal with a rapping B on it. It's all good.
Yeah, and then we look at hip-hop as a mass genre, but every kind of city has its own kind of footprint. Let's talk about hip-hop here in Houston.
Yeah. Absolutely. Houston's hip-hop scene, I think, is, as you can see, extremely diverse. You look at myself, I'm a product of the scene. You look at Genesis, she as well is a product of the scene. Of course, Memphis is a product of the scene. So you can't just pigeonhole Houston rap into just being about cars and all of that. Our culture is deep, it is resounding, and it's extremely reflective of life down here in Houston. You see guys in videos driving cars, and then you see guys in videos riding horses.
Here you can do that. Okay, formed during basically kind of the 70s, during the block parties in New York City, but I remember even things like Gil Scott-Heron. It wasn't necessarily hip-hop, I guess, but he was telling a message, a poetic message, and words that cut deep.
That's absolutely right. Gil Scott-Heron, the last poets, right? White man has a God complex. So you get this sort of critique.
The revolution will not be televised.
There you go.
Yes.
You get this sort of critique beginning with the blues and moving forward, that these are related ways of expressing a kind of discontent with social circumstances as they are and offering a different vision. And Bun is absolutely right that what you get with hip-hop is a depiction of the world as it is. If you want folks to speak a different vision, give them a different world in which to work.
Yeah, and even with those things, like, 'cause I know at first for me, I had to kind of work through this with the things like sip and syrup and all that type of stuff, and I was like, oh my God, that's awful. But that's what's going on. Yeah. That's what's going on. When they talk about the drugs and the crime and the violence, you talk about that expression, being able to get it out and say, look at this, look at what's happening.
Yeah. And there's a larger critique, right? If folks are upset with the ways in which economic power is described and articulated within hip-hop culture, then it's a larger social dilemma, right? That you give folks a certain range of opportunities to achieve the American dream, and then we critique them for maximizing those opportunities.
Hip-hop is all about speaking the truth. It's one of the things that made me fall in love with it. It's about telling the truth. So if the truth is ugly, it just is.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Well, I think that could be a rap. You should know the truth will set you free. Oh, yeah. Look, I've gotten the bug now, and I don't know, you saw that beginning of the show. I think I've got a touch of the professional. I really do. Yeah, a couple of lessons, and I'm in. Right? All right. And Memphis, what is it you think it does for, like, even your listeners?
I think we play songs over and over and over, so to the point where if you didn't like the song at first or you didn't understand the message at first, we drive that into you, and then next thing you know, it's the #1 song in the country.
And that is the thing. I think a lot of times people look at the person first and all the glitz and glam the whole bit, so they don't hear the message. And then you obviously, as natural human beings, we move to a beat first, right? You don't know what they're saying. I mean, I think like one of the best songs of all time is "Ever go to a friend's house to eat and the food just ain't no good?" And I'm like, you know, and it took me the longest to figure out that the chicken tastes like wood. But I was just going on with the little beat right there.
Well,
but
it has to entertain, right? At the very least, it has to entertain. Now, done at its best, it can inform, educate, and engage the world. But at the very least, it's got to have a good beat.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Up next, spinning the hip-hop turntables is an art form all unto itself, and girls are taking over after the break.